And welcome back to Say It Is with Brandon and Tyler. We got some baseball news as it is getting closer to trade deadline, so it's some of the more exciting news. Tyler, would you like to start?
I guess just the one that everybody's kind of not rumoring, but I don't know if this is like a fib or whatever, but it's Mariners acquire Andrew Vaughn and Tyler Black. Brewers acquire Emerson Hancock. What do you think about that?
I think it's a bad trade. Now, does it involve a right-handed bat that Seattle desperately needs? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Emerson Hancock is like a middle to back end of the rotation starter type,
Mm-hmm.
which Milwaukee doesn't exactly need. And it's also not a kind of trade that Matt Arnold would make. Each front office has its own idea of how they want to do roster construction. They also have their budgetary limits set up by the owners, and they have to stay within a particular range. And the that just does not seem a Matt Arnold kind of trade. It might have been a different front office kind of trade, but not Matt Arnold. Same thing with Jerry Dipoto. Jerry Dipoto is open to either trading like Luis Castillo or Emerson Hancock. I don't see Milwaukee as a fit for either of those two guys. For right-handed bat, it would fit better if you were to try to trade the Cubs and then get like a Seiya Suzuki and or Matt Shaw in return with a Jonathan Long as a second or third piece. Now, I opened up the MLB app and I saw trade rumors of Mason Miller being connected to what teams did I saw? I saw Seattle, Pittsburgh, and the frickin' Yankees. And then Milwaukee has checked in on Mason Miller like they have on Skubal. Tampa, and then Skubal's been linked to Milwaukee, Tampa, LA, Atlanta. You get the idea. Basically, anyone who's like a top tier contender is linked to Skubal.
Pretty much.
And then Mason Miller is also connected to the White Sox. Now, the White Sox did almost trade for Aroldis Chapman just before Boston went on their 15-game win streak. But as Boston was winning more, and as the trade was almost finalized, and Caleb Bonmer was about to head on a plane, that trade was canceled and it wasn't going to go through. Again, that's because of Boston's 15-game win streak, and they're now above 500, holding like the second or third wild card spot. And then the cost for Milwaukee to get someone like a Skubal would involve likely Logan Henderson and maybe Robert Gasser, and then he's got to throw in like a Josiah Ragsdale in there and a Luke Adams. And then I know like Chris Getz with the White Sox is looking at being aggressive as well. For pitching, they're looking at Detmers and Clay Holmes. Detmers would involve more pieces, but if the White Sox were to get, let's say, like Mason Miller, because I believe they checked in on him too, it could cost something like a Braden Montgomery. I don't know what your initial thoughts are on all of that.
I don't really have any initial thoughts on it. It's just trade deadline is a trade deadline, and we'll see who we get.
I mean, that's fair. I don't want to see the Yankees get Mason Miller. I don't want to see the Dodgers get a Skubal, but we know it could just happen anyways because.
Now, here's the thing. I know we didn't, talk about it on our pod, but I wanted to talk about who says no to this. Athletics receive Hagen Smith, Billy Carlson, and Corey Lee, and White Sox receive Shea
Langoliers.
Yeah. So what do you think about that?
So Langoliers is more of a long-term like catching solution. He would be the primary starter, and then that would move Kyle Teal when he returns from injury to backup catcher. If you want Kyle Teal to be your primary catcher, you can't have Shea Langoliers. Unless if, let's say, after Benintendi's contract is expired or if they trade away Benintendi, then they could have Kyle Teal be the DH or Langoliers is the DH. And then have the other one be the primary catcher, and then have like a Jefferson Caro or a Drew Romo as the backup catcher. So there are ways to go about it, but Benintendi would have to go to do that.
Do you also want to talk about how the Cubs signed Greg Jones to a minor league deal?
Oh boy, yeah. So the minor league contract that Greg Jones this year played for the White Sox just for a little bit and Milwaukee for just a little bit. Milwaukee DFA'd his ass after he was being outright terrible. So if I open up Greg Jones stats, if you wonder, and then you'll after bring those up, you'll wonder how the hell is this guy in Major League Baseball? It keeps being brought up and sent back down. So his rookie year, he spent 6 games with Colorado where he hit 200 with 1 home run with the OPS of 1.133 because he played in 6 games, right?
Yep.
In 25, he played with the White Sox. He played in 3 games.
And they traded him.
They did jack squat. I'm pretty sure they DFA'd his ass.
Either that or they traded him. And then Milwaukee said, get the fuck out. And now he's
with the Cubs. Yeah, and with Milwaukee, he played in 12 games. He hit .087 with a OPS of 1.74 and no homers. That is truly atrocious. Like he actually useless with the bat. But I looked up why are teams so insistent on Greg Jones, and it turns out it's because he's fast. He can play every outfield spot and second base decently well. His bat is just useless. So if I go over to his minor league batting, you'll be like, dear Lord, why would anyone want this guy? Actually, his I'm pretty sure his like minor league stats are obviously going to be better than his major league stats. Like that's without a doubt. Just gotta get over to that page. It should be underneath show non-made. There we go. Yeah, he was like in AAA Charlotte in 25. He hit 145. Actually, last year he hit 183 total between 3 leagues in the minor leagues. Well, this year he hit 285. 24 was like a 267. And then OPSs were like this year in AAA is like 791. The year in 25, his OPS was a 607. If anything below a 710, just you don't want him as a starter. So if you were to generate any type of major league value, I would think more along the lines of a Terrence Gore back when he was alive and playing. Because you remember how fast that guy was.
Mm-hmm.
Like his job was the pinch runner and late in the game, and then would be a defensive replacement because he could actually play defense, but he just couldn't swing the bat to save his life. But he won like how many? He won like 2 or 3 championships just from stealing bases for teams. That isn't that terrible.
No.
Now, it turns out that Boston is looking at Shea Langoliers and C.J. Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check with Will what type of package that might look like if he is familiar with the the Red Sox system. But we can always ask him that tomorrow because again we're heading down to Chicago for another game, as I brought up on I think I brought up anyways on the What's on My Mind bit. The Angels have Joe Adell potentially going somewhere. Same thing with Detmers. Gosman has an interesting scenario because he has a partial no trade clause and Milwaukee is on there.
Mm-hmm.
But why would you want to put a team like Milwaukee on no trade clause when they're constantly in the playoffs and can hit the LCS? Freddie Peralta is like saying that they could send him back to Milwaukee for lesser than what Milwaukee sent him away for. Ilya Ramos, outfielder for the Giants, is a trade candidate like Robbie Ray and Luis Arias. Trevor Rogers from Baltimore is on the block, like is maybe on the block. Same thing with Springer. Now a lot of these guys, we won't know if they're actually on the block until like 72 to 48 hours before the deadline because of the nature of how bad the AL is. Tyler Stevenson of Cincinnati looks like it might be on the market. Same with Hunter Goodman, but Hunter Goodman is likely going to stay in Colorado until the end of the year, and then after that, people will decide if they need him or not for his bat. But generally speaking, that's what that's what we're looking at for potential trade rumors. I haven't seen like many trades because again of the AL being what it is.
Pretty much. And like, there's not much going on until later, so there's not really much baseball to talk about. Besides going over like the standings, which again the AL is just called a giant mess that changes like literally every week. And the NL being so consistent for what teams are there. Like Pittsburgh's too, but the teams I would say like if you want their teams that are in contention for like a playoff spot, you're looking at like Arizona, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Marlins, surprisingly Washington, San Diego, because they desperately do need farm system rebuilt. They might be buying and selling because there are 4 games back, but they also could just outright be selling just because they're looking at everyone else who's ahead of them and going like, yeah, we don't want any part of that. Mm-hmm.
And then the AL, like to just kind of paint a picture, I'm just going to have to go over like anyone who's in like the wild card 2 spot and lower because of it being, again, the AL. So the AL wildcard spots is like Cleveland, Boston, Seattle, Minnesota, Houston, Baltimore, Detroit. We won't know, like most of those teams, you won't know their status until literally like August 1st or 2nd.
Right.
Like, and Detroit should consider like selling Skubal because they don't have any shot of winning the World Series. Like they have a nice roster. They've just been injured the entire time and derailed their season.
Yeah.
And then Seattle and Texas, I think they just started playing like per time of recording. It's a 4-game set. That's actually one of the most important series to watch right now. Because that series could decide on who's winning the AL West. As of right now, Seattle is 2 games under 500, and then Texas is literally a game over. And they're separated by, I think, like a game and a half or something. Yeah, separated by a game and a half. So if Seattle were to win 2 of 3, they'd be in first. If they split the series, then it's like nothing happened because they lost last night. But and then like Cleveland is just standing pat. Minnesota is it doesn't matter what Minnesota does because they should be selling, but poll ads.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's all it is for like trade news because that's kind of what we're looking at, and we're just kind of stuck without doing any speculation stuff until literally like the second or third. 2 hours ago though, you had the A's signing Dallas Keuchel to a minor league deal. And otherwise just injuries and the question of should the White Sox go all in to acquire Mason Miller? Would you like Mason Miller as your closer instead of like Grant Taylor? I'm pretty sure everyone would.
Probably, yeah.
But then again, the question is, would you want to give up someone like a Braden Montgomery?
We will have to see on what they do.
Yeah, you're not. The roster construction is not really your thing.
No,
it isn't. That's my alley. This is why I write. Yeah. So, as per normal, all the socials is going to be in the description. You can listen to us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, YouTube. Hit subscribe, follow, hit download. Download doesn't take up any space. It's just a cloud storage thing. And then rate 4 to 5 stars. 4 stars if you don't like us, 5 stars if you do. Helps with the algorithm. Till next time.
Till next time.